Starting. Okay, we're on air. Live is on air is live. Yay. Okay. Um, so we might be sparsely populated today. Julie Leervensickle is at the Elgin Fringe Festival, and she wrote that this would be happening in between two performances. So I'm kind of thinking we're not going to see her. Julie Stoverink let me know that she has a business meeting until 6 o'clock. So if she joins us, it'll be later. Igars is in California, off in the hinterlands somewhere. He bugged out when he's like, I'm a Latvian boy. That we this hurricanes, that's disaster movie stuff. You
went straight out to where the fires are.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he has very spotty internet where he is. We're not sure where he is, but so he said it was probably unlikely that he was going to be able to join us.
Right.
So, and then Bridget doesn't have internet at her studio, but she was going to go somewhere to get online, so I've sent several invitations. And who am I missing? Or is that it?
That's it.
I think that's it.
So it's just us.
Okay, cool. Cool.
So we had our first rehearsal for the CCFF, that's Classic City Fringe Festival, which will be in Athens. And it was Josephine, Bridget, and myself, and we spent the whole time trying to figure out how we're going to structure this thing in a way that makes sense based on the things we were talking about. The title we proposed was Cluster Flock Ritual, and I went through the materials and I realized it was from EQ4 that I took that from. So we decided that we're going to base it on EQ4. So bad news if you've already started your EQ1 soundtrack. Good news if you haven't.
Good news.
That's me.
We are going for the most immediate goal, your homework, and there is a somewhat of a pressing deadline on this one, because the structure we came up with is going to use at least part of everybody's.
Right.
So we need EQ4 sound.
And individual, of course, so EQ4-1, EQ4-2, EQ4-3, and so on. Yeah.
So Bridget said that she had done EQ1 and 2 as complete sound scores, but she could easily go back in and find the cuts to differentiate the 1, 2, and 3 through 7. So that's what we need from you guys.
Right. So now these are just our 4 words, isn't it? Is that it?
So in the let's see, where is it? In the shared folder under movement.
Yep.
There will be, shared folder, the movement folder. There is an EQ4 movement words, or EQ4 movement words, yes. You click on that, and then let's see, where's Michelle? Michelle, her first one is robotics 11 thing propulsion.
Yep.
So that'll be your first sound sequence.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
But so was your question that it's you're inspired by the words? You don't
Yes.
necessarily use the words.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
I'm not inspired. I don't like that word.
Yeah.
Prompted by the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josephine doesn't like the word inspiration.
Because
No.
Oh, doesn't it?
Got the Latin root for divine breath.
Is it?
In spiritus.
We just like solving problems. That's
No Deus ex machina. No,
Yeah.
no more Latin words.
nothing, no divine inspiration.
Got it. Yep. I don't get much of that.
So we devised a structure. It took us the whole rehearsal period, which
I
was really
bet.
annoying. But trying to figure out something that works within a smaller iteration. So we kind of we used the liar's dice structure
Or
that we-
idea.
yeah, and we kind of manipulated a little bit. So
Mhm.
in the folder, it's in 2 places, I believe, right?
Mhm.
I'm looking.
So
Okay.
check this out. So is it in the Google Docs?
Yes.
It's in the Google Docs.
So right now I'm in screen sharing. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. So let's all go there together because this is fun. So it's in the drive and it's shared. Look at that load. That's so cool. Where is it? LPL MP. So here we are with all this stuff.
And you're doing this through, because this doesn't work on mine for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, it does like some weird, well, maybe it will this time.
So where is it under performance?
I think. Where'd you put it, Joe?
Wait,
Brainstorm?
stop. Just a minute. Okay, so it's in 2 places. So in text, if you click on text, I believe, it's in Exquisite Corpse 4, CCFF.
And there we are.
It's there, and then it's also in the performance folder under Athens Fringe. And it
Awesome.
says Athens Structure. So we divided it up into 7 sections. And then, let me see if I can do screen share. I don't know.
So, so I have like a little window open for the Google Hangouts, and there are a series of buttons on the, so that's the left, no, yes, that's the left-hand side.
I
And
love
it's-
the fact that you're doing that.
It's a little green, it's a little green screen with screen with an arrow,
Yes.
screen with a white arrow. That, if you click on it, we should see your screen.
Oh, see,
And Josephine?
wow, see, that's what happens. How?
Wow.
Oh,
So now that we're looking at you, so you don't have to look at this screen anymore. You can go to a different screen.
but if I click on mine, do you see that happening? No.
Oh yeah, yeah, because
That's
it's
amazing.
looking at you over
We
and
should
over and
use
over again.
That's
Okay.
incredible.
Psychedelic.
Together.
Isn't it?
Okay. So you can see this screen?
I can.
Okay. And so here's our structure for the performance.
We arbitrarily decided on 10 sections.
Mhm.
Oops.
Joe, talk so we can see your screen.
Talk so you can see my screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can also click on her little square and it will stay on her screen.
Yes. If I click on my screen, then
I
it
did
will.
it.
Okay. So,
It's weird to
10
see my.
10 sections. I can go to Paul if you want. I can go to
Oh,
Michelle
much-
too.
Much better.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's so much better.
Okay. And so we have 10 sections, and then the next part of the rubric, I mean, just coming up with, all right, how are we going to do this? It took forever. But then we decided on rolling the dice for We gave ourselves numbers, who was going to be in it, and then using the liar's dice, what it was, and then the sound files that we'll be using.
And then you're going to iterate again for the sound files once, or are you going to pull from just the text that you pulled in the EQ4 sections?
Well, Paul didn't want to tell you this, but yeah, we're going to, so it has like so it coheres and it's not too much work. We are going to follow the progression. So it'll be the sound from 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 4-3, 4-4, 4-4, 4-5, 4-5, 4-6, 4-7. Yeah.
However,
Oh no, it'd be 4-6, 4-6. What? No, it'd be 4-6.
However, one of the things that I want is to make sure everybody does their complete EQ4 sound, because I'm not going to be a absolute stickler on the structure we've created, and if we need more sound, and let's say you have a really short file for so Joff is the third one. And it also doesn't make sense because we have 10 and we don't have EQ410 or EQ49. So we're going to have to fudge a bit on that.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So we, gosh, Michelle, were you at no, where were we? Was it, I can't remember the last meeting when we were talking about technical stuff. Oh no, it was this was a meeting I had with Bridget and Igars a couple weeks ago. And so we were talking about the technical needs of the performance and what we were looking at. And then we don't know what the internet connection will be. And the one thing about doing the live hangouts or streaming is the bandwidth, and we don't know if we're going to be able to plug in cable into the bandwidth there.
Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, because Michelle, you had talked about wanting to do an iteration. I think that this could easily fit in there.
Mm-hmm.
If we just need to give you the rubric of how we came up with who.
Yep.
And then maybe keeping the rest of this, and then it could coincide quite nicely, don't you think, Paul?
Yes.
So, okay, what did we do?
I'm going to talk to people are interested and would like to do it, so I'm going to talk to them on Wednesday in a more detail, and then set up some rehearsals over the holidays. We've got school holidays coming up shortly, so that we can try and do this. It's the 21st of October, isn't it? Is it? What is the date of the?
They haven't given us the exact date, but the fest, and they should have by now. But that's how
Fringe Festival.
Yes, exactly.
So the dates I have are the 19th, I think, through the 21st, October 19th through 21st. Yeah.
So one of the things that we've talked about is the possibility of not necessarily live streaming, but if we had video that we could project. Again, this is our first iteration, and we don't know what we're capable of at this point. But I would love to see that happen if we could, because the more we can reflect what it is we're doing, what we've done within the performance, the better.
Sure. And in a way too, if somehow that can be documented, what you do in Athens, that can also kind of build and on our performances when we get together as well.
Yes. As I think one of the things that we're coming to realize is that we have enough material for 10 years worth of work. And just the last meeting when we talked about ways of structuring and trying to have a coherent structure that would make sense to the audience above enjoying the density of the work, is simplify. And when we develop work, and Josephine and I were talking about this after the rehearsal with Bridget, was that what are we going to do when we get together? And I said, well, are we going to focus on creating one work that is going to be performed at the end, or on ways of developing structures for future works? And Josephine's answer was yes, exactly. And one of the things that, the EQ, because our movement has come from EQ. And I don't want to create more movement for the other 7 texts that we created, but I want to be able to use the 7 texts. One of the things that I want us to think about is, with those 7 texts, do we draw movement phrases, or is there something that we need to do to narrow it down?
I don't know if I agree with you that we don't want to do movement with those other texts, Paul, but we just haven't gotten there yet.
I love it, Joe, because we disagreed on this the opposite way before.
My two cents is probably worth only 1 cent. I would say it would be awesome to explore the movement across the other texts, but then to take time at some point, especially if we are experimenting with different ways to use this material, you go through all of the movement phrases, like combine them together into one long run, just so we're all watching it, and then kind of by committee decide on a distillation of that movement set, of what the entire set of movements are. So we have and we talked about this a while ago as an idea, but it was just an idea. But to basically, from all of this movement, crystallize a movement set that is here's the distillation of all these ideas. And to have more ideas before we do that would be even better. And then if we wanted to do something that was like an installation piece where we're projecting everybody's different phrases as they were presenting them, like when we did all the video stuff, we could have all of the videos cut and running of all these different people doing all these different moves, but then actual live dancers inside it doing a distillation of what those moves coalesce to after all of this trial and error and refinement and evolution. It would just be a completely different way to do it, but it would be fun, next year.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
The good news is I was able to get the Black Box Theater at the university for 3 weeks. And so what that means is it's an incredibly versatile space. And so it's so much better than, because we were looking at the theater for us to be in, and I didn't want to be in there. I wanted to be in the Black Box, but we moved some things around, so now we can be in there, and it's a great space. Yeah.
Have you heard of projection mapping?
Yeah.
It would be pretty rad to have just stationary mannequins, just stationary, color neutral mannequins that you project the movement onto, so people will be moving through unmoving mannequins.
Oh, wow.
So have you seen some of the work that Bill Shannon is doing?
I don't even know who Bill Shannon is, so I'm gonna say no.
I can YouTube him.
So his hook, because he has a degenerative hip disease, his hook is that he started his career combining movement. He's a street artist, movement with his work on crutches, and so he developed this whole body of work based on that. But he's really actually an electrician nerd,
Mhm.
And so his more recent, the stuff that he's really interested in is kind of blowing out what can you do with projection on a smaller budget. So when you were talking about, Paul, you didn't see this performance, did you?
No, I didn't.
No. So when you were talking about the mannequins, so Bill has been working with little the pocket projectors,
Yeah.
and then also the little Raspberry Pis.
Yeah.
Are you familiar? Okay. And so what he did was he built these masks out of this material is pretty expensive, but it's kind of a what's the material? Anyways, what he did was he had the pocket projector projecting inside the mask, which was the face of the person, pre-recorded the face of the person that was wearing the mask, and so it completely distorted it. So it had the whole holographic effect. But he's also doing a lot of other work that is pretty interesting. So there is a Bridget and I, and actually Igar's now that he's here, hopefully we'll go over to the Facility for Arts Research, because I was talking to some people who are really interested in working with the Raspberry Pis and these different projection modules and really kind of blasting it out to see what we could do with it. And they're all a bunch of nerds, electrician and digital nerds. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what is a Raspberry Pi? So is it a camera?
As far as I understand it, Geoff probably knows more about it than I do. It's just like a little itty bitty $30 computer.
Yeah.
Right.
You can program it to do specific things.
Okay.
So you would use it if you were, sorry, I was looking up that projection mapping stuff that he was doing. I put a link to the projection mask that he had made.
Right.
Very interesting. So basically what you do if you have if you want to do projection mapping, or you wanted to split the projection up, you would tell each component using the Raspberry Pi, you would say this component is going to capture this part of the projection, this one's going to do that, and it would map it for you. It's just a Raspberry Pi is a tiny computer. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're very cheap. And the little pocket projectors that we're looking at are about, well, the ones we're looking at are laser, because you don't have to focus them. And they're about $400 or $500. So
well, it's more than you don't have to focus them. It's that they can focus. They can focus at different lengths.
Right.
So you can have an uneven surface, and the whole image will be in focus.
And you can go in and out of the image, and it will always be in focus.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep.
Cool stuff.
So, as a matter of fact, I need to set up some meetings with the research office to see how I can move some money around now that Igar's is in the States. And that will save some money.
So do you envision, I mean, as you were talking about Bill Shannon's thing, one of the things that I thought of is the GoPro and having the image that the performer would see being projected. Right. So you could the camera's the GoPro, right? The little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we experimented with that with the last iteration of LPL before this. Hey, Bridget.
Hi.
Hi, Bridget.
Hi. Sorry, I'm late.
Well, now that Bridget's here, I'm leaving.
No.
So, Bridget, show them your new tattoo.
I don't know if you
Wow.
A D4, a D6, a D8, a D12.
Yes.
20.
Yep. Dungeons and Dragons all the way.
We
No, but I mean, yeah.
Those are
I
the
think
dice.
14
Those are the
I
die
gotta
we were
put
throwing
on
today.
songs.
What, Bridget?
Huh?
I was saying those are the die we were throwing today, the different sided die. that
Yeah.
we were throwing
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Yeah.
hey with two tens, you can do percentile stuff, which if you guys like, well, I mean, I know you like aleatoric stuff, but if you just go to a game shop and get 2 10-sided dice, and with that you can roll percentages. And then you can do everything you want to do on a percentage scale instead of on a
Okay,
like,
I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. So we could go to, let's see, let me find it.
game store, and then you get 2 10-sided dice. And then let's say you roll the 2 dice, and the first one says 0. 0 can either be 0 or 10, right? So the first one gets a 0, and then the second one gets a 9. Now that's 9%. So you have because if you do 2 zeros, then it's 100, right?
Haha.
So if you
Okay.
so it just makes it so that instead of like making your chances based on like I'm gonna roll a standard die, so I know I have 6 iterations. It means you can do stuff instead of on iteration, you can do it on percentage chance of occurring.
Okay, so check out my screen.
Yeah.
I've got here, roll dice online. Number of sides, 10.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
And so, okay, so what's being reflected here? Let's just do 1, 1.
Maybe do the 3-sided dice. I'm like, how?
So I'm trying to get the percentages. I mean, I don't understand, Bob.
So you would do 2 dice rolls of 1 10-sided die. So just roll 1. Roll 1 10-sided die once, and then roll 1 10-sided die again.
Okay, we got 2 and 4.
All right, you got 2 and 4. So the 2 is the tens digit. The 4 is the ones digit.
So it's 24%.
Yes,
Huh.
you just got a 24%.
Wow.
Because if you put both digits together, then it would be a 0 and a 0. That would be a 100. So it goes from 0, 0 to 9, 9. Right?
Oh, you're right. So it says average. Okay.
So one of the great things about this application that Joe has is that we had 10 rolls,
Mhm.
and you just plug in the number of rolls, and you don't have to keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. You just get all the results at once.
Well, where's the fun in that? Because you can go get like dice from a store, and they sometimes they're shiny and like have little bits of stuff in them, or something. I have ones made out of pure dragon bone.
What?
Ooh.
That's insane.
That's true. I don't have any of my old gaming dice anymore, but they're really handy. They actually make a 100-sided die, and it looks like a golf ball.
Wow. Wow.
What happened with 100?
And if you just do a 100-sided die, you can just take it and get that as the percentage right away.
Yeah.
I was only saying the 2 10-sided dice because you can go and buy those, and they're super cheap. But I mean, if you want to do it all technological,
Yeah.
We're virtual, man.
Okay. So Bridget, we shared our structure for cluster flock ritual.
Cool.
So, anyways, where are we?
I'm in beautiful British Columbia.
So, Julie Sobrink has partially because she's wanting to find ways to fund coming down here to rehearse for CCFF, has been looking for funding possibilities. And I want to applaud that and encourage that wherever possible. I mean, especially if we could do something like we want to go to Australia and perform in the state of Victoria.
We'd like to go to BC and perform in the state of Victoria, right?
Or the city of Victoria.
Or it's a city?
Victoria is
Right.
a city in British Columbia.
Aha. Okay.
British Columbia would
I
be
got
the
it reversed.
province.
Province. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we need to start looking at that because, of course, a lot of deadlines are starting to be made known.
And even if looking for funding is like I don't want to do it, or I feel totally unqualified, if you see any potential situations of granting organizations, I'm a grant writer. So the other thing is that we missed the deadline for this one, but there was a grant to support travel, and I was thinking, oh, if we had some venues lined up, or that I could call, and it was too short notice, but I wanted to contact you, Michelle, and say, oh, can you give us some possible gigs, or you know, it's like even if it was performing in your studio to begin with, that we could expand upon. So to write those tour support grants, you really kind of have to have some sort of itinerary.
Yes.
And so if you can think of some possible things that quickly we could, you know, if the grant comes up and we go, oh, okay, I want to write for this, and you have some things in mind.
Yeah. I'll do
So,
that. I'll do that this week, actually.
Geoff, at your university, do you have access to a database through the Office of Research or anything?
I don't know if there's an Office of Research.
Oh, okay.
I don't know much about any of that stuff.
What is the name of where you're going to school?
Selkirk.
How do you spell that?
SELKIRK.
Okay. Is it .edu?
No, it's .ca.
Canada.
Hmm.
Because the U.S. owns all, we're the only country that doesn't have to.
EDUs. What did you want to call Office of what?
Well, here it's called the Office of Research.
There is such a thing here.
Departmental.
What does that department do?
So, for us, what it does, benefits from Selkirk College of Research and Products have chosen. It is a clearinghouse. Well, there's several different things. They put out grants. They have their own grant. But also, so the point I was going to make through our university, and Bridget should be doing this too. You can sign up for the Pivot system, and I wonder, and what it is it is like a clearinghouse. And I set my criteria of what I'm looking for, and through that system, I get regular announcements or alerts. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't think that there's something like that at Selkirk. They often will suggest that we go and find grants, and most of those grants come from the province or some philanthropic groups. But there aren't any grants that are specifically at Selkirk, and they're not curated, at least that I know of. There are, like, there's a Federal Innovation Group, Research and Innovation Project group, but that's for like sciences and like human service stuff. Yeah, this is like for the Rural Development Institute and Regional Workforce Development. But I don't know of any artistic ones. I can actually talk to the chair of my department and see if there's something like that. But in our technical writing course so far, they've been directing us to look outside the college for funding, unless it's for just like tuition services, financial aid. It's a different type of.
I'm trying to find it. Okay, here we go. This is just a database that, I mean, it's for all disciplines. Let's see. God, where is it? Okay.
How can I find the pivot system?
I'm looking for it to see if I can.
So it's basically a page of links to different opportunities. So they're not within the university, but they're. So what it is that the Office of Research says, here they are. So that it helps you do the research to find out which grants are available.
All right, here we go. Let me see.
Share, Joe.
It takes a while to find this because I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
Bridget, where are you?
I'm in my FSU. Oh, I'm at Xandra's house.
Ah. I was going to say, that doesn't look like your apartment.
No. No.
Okay, so here's the pivot system. And you have to go through and sign up. But for me...
How'd you find it? What did you do?
So I learned of this through our Office of Research. And so when I log in, I have to go through my institution and then look through the institution. Now, this might just be a national thing, but at any rate.
I'm looking at my links in my FSU. I went to research and recognition. And there's a Center for Undergraduate Research and Academic Engagement, the Garnet and Gold Scholarly Society, Global Citizen Honors Program, Honor Society, Office of Graduate Fellowships and Awards, and Office of National Fellows. But there's nothing under there. Also resources.
So you're going to have to sign up for it. Okay. So for example, here's the pivot system, and basically, when I set up my profile, I had set up my parameters of what I'm interested in. I really should extend it to Australia. But so I'm just wondering, Joff, as a student, if you have something like this available to you.
I've never seen anything like that at all.
Okay. So,
but like I said, I know that there isn't something that's curated in that way that has been spoken about at all in my coursework.
Okay.
Including the technical writing course that we're in, which includes grant writing. And we may just not be to it yet. But I can ask Daryl and see if there's a method.
So it would be this system is a national clearinghouse that Florida State belongs to. Is that what it is, Joe?
Yeah, they pay for what's it called? They pay for access. But yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be similar to the academic library having access to digital journals and that sort of thing. They pay for it, and then because you're part of the university, you can have access to it.
And then I set my parameters. I set what I'm looking for. This is also good because it also identifies collaborators that might be interested. So other professors or whatever that are signed up into this, and also working across nationally, which I haven't been doing yet, and I probably should do that.
Yep.
But there's a lot of filters I can put on here. But anyways.
Yeah, I'm in my FSU and I'm going to my profile. When I go to my profile, there's no option. All I'm seeing is like my information, my emergency information, address.
I would recommend you go through the Office of Research.
Okay.
But we can, We can work on that later.
Okay. Okay.
I know from here there's Regional Arts Victoria. It's not a huge. I think they've got about 250,000 a year to be able to support country artists. There's an emergency 2-week thing which I was going to apply for to help for my expenses whilst I'm over there. That'll be about $1,200. And then there's Arts Victoria, which is the big one.
Right.
So, but I might go and talk to Carolyn about that.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very good at getting grants, and I might seek her advice on that one. Mm.
Is she still at Kawar or?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and still mayor.
Okay.
So that's, yeah.
Because just through Facebook, we understood that her and Clive are no more.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I found something.
You found something.
Yeah, I went to the Office of Graduate Fellowships and Award, and they had something down at the bottom that said, the Pivot. Start to continue your funding search with Pivot.
Yes, that it's a great resource. It's an incredible resource.
I just sent a message off to the chair of my department to see if there's something like Pivot for Canadian stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's something similar here too. I think I'll look into it. Yeah.
Because you can specify, for example, sciences and art and looking for collaborators, and they'll the search engine will match you. So, yeah.
Incredible.
Of course, there's all the residency. Because both Bridget and Joff are degree-seeking students, it kind of delimits to what you can apply to. But
Usually I'm not a degree-seeking student, I'm a certificate student.
Aha, there you go. So that's much different.
So in Canada, it still counts as a degree once you graduate because you can get a post-grad work permit, but I'm going to have a certificate, not another set of letters.
Who needs all those initials?
Hey, Lisa's got a bunch, and it looks super cool when it's all written out. It's like, she's not an MFA. Lisa, what are you? You're a BA?
Master's of Science in Midwifery.
Master's of Science in Midwifery, but then you're also, certified. Was it CRM? NRM.
So is Master of Science of Midwifery, is that MSMV? No, wait, MSMW?
That's
It is?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. MSMW.
NRM.
Only RM.
Oh, and RM. And RM.
Right. NRM.
And bachelors of something.
Well, Bridget's a BA, MA, and soon to be MFA.
BA, MA, MFA?
Yeah.
Like a kid song. BA, MA,
MFA.
I'll make my
Okay.
me.
We should take all of the letters that come after our names, file those together, and that should be the structure for something. We should decide what letter means, and that's the structure for the piece.
Yeah.
And the piece is called Edumacated.
Please let there be puppets. I'll build the puppets.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
So, Joff, you're still you're an American citizen, right?
Yes.
So you can legally work in the States, right?
Yes. In fact, I'm doing some project work for my mom, which is taking a lot of my time, which is funny because school is taking a lot of my time too. But yeah, I can legally work doing anything that's not taking a job away from a Canadian while I'm here. So internet work is fine.
Cool.
Wow.
But I can only work, I think it's with my permit right now, I can only work 20 hours a week, and it has to be school related if I want to do a Canadian work thing. So, yeah,
Huh.
looking at trying to join the student union, the British Columbia Student Union, as a representative. Which is funny because I'm not a Canadian, but I can be a representative of a Canadian student union.
Yes, you can. There you go.
An oversight.
And you're still a U.S. citizen too, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to change that when you move to Florida. You don't have to.
Well, you have to start saying y'all.
Hey, that's easy though. Y'all is great.
I really have loved adopting y'all.
It's the Vosotros form.
It is. I'm like, it's great.
Yeah, the informal all of you. It's great. Who needs a
Not really. We don't need to wait for Julie. We're recording this. She's good at watching.
Yeah.
So for the Fringe Fest stuff that's going on, it's like for people like me, I'm not going to probably be able to contribute to the performance part of it. Is everybody who's going to be able to actually contribute to the performance part of it already, and has all the rundown of what's going on?
We need to catch Julie Stoverink and Igars up on what we did today.
Mm-hmm.
Julie Lervensickle, so she knows about the sound.
Performance, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so for me, with if I just go into Google Docs, it'll be your breakdown of the structure, and then
Great.
we can copy that, take bits of it, or
So how did we land on, so are you, I mean, what do you think? We should just do the movement of that, or I guess it would be the, do you have any recommendations, Paul, Bridget, based on our conversations today?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, I was going to pivot. I will do that later.
So what we did is we looked at the number of performers we have,
Yes.
Yeah.
and we arbitrarily came up with 10 sections. And so we, using the application, you can have whatever sided die you want.
Mhm.
And so there were 5 of us, and we did a 6-sided die. We assigned each performer a number, and then 6 was no performers on stage.
No, it was one. Well, wait. First, we decided how many people, right? And one was actually still no. You're right. Wait. No. One. Oh, I have 2 different sets of notes here.
Joe,
It doesn't matter.
It's not that important.
No.
This is one of the this demonstrates, well, Bridget's laughing because she spent the rehearsal seeing this, where Paul and Josephine are saying the exact thing, same thing, but backwards of each other.
Yeah, I was like,
So anyways, the first thing we did was decided on 10 sections, and then we wanted to know how many people were going to be in each section. And so I'm trying to remember how we arrived at that. And then we rolled the dice for who was going to be in those sets, right?
So the first thing was we did
Oh, okay.
how many performers in each section.
Okay, so we had, including stillness, we had up to 6. And so we used a 6-sided die.
Yeah.
And then we went through, and we have 10 sections. So we rolled the dice and 1 die. And so we got 4, 3, 1, 5, 6 is 0, 1, 6, 1, 3, 5. That's how many people in each section.
Yep.
And then we did another run through of who, this is what I can't remember how we did this.
So then we did a 5-sided die.
Okay, it was a 5. Okay, and then Paul was 1, Bridget 2. Then we numbered 1 through 5. That's what my notes are saying.
So for the first section, it turned out there were 4 performers on stage, so we rolled the die 4 times.
Right.
If there was a duplicate, we rolled again.
Right.
Because I suppose we could do it so that somebody was on twice, but
We rolled again.
that gets a little conceptual.
Yep. Yeah.
Then we did text or movement.
Yep.
And we based this on the system that Joff had come up with. And since we could control the sides of the die, we did a 3-sided die. 1 was text, 2 was movement, 3 was text and movement. So we went through and determined that.
If you're going to do an iteration of that, I would keep the same of what we have. Don't you think?
That's what I reckon. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So and that's all written up already.
That's yes.
Yeah.
See there?
Okay, that's cool.
So I can go. I'll show you. I'll just share the screen. So here it is.
Yeah.
So this has already been determined.
Yep.
This
Well,
part's
let's stick
been
with that one. No point doing it again.
and this has been determined. So all you would need to do is determine how many people we're going to be on.
Yep.
And then who it is.
Yep. Yep. Easy.
And then in terms of what movement you're going to use, that would be what you would have to decide upon, how you would structure that.
Yep.
We're still discussing that.
We know that we're using the movement from EQ. So for this, so we're going to go in the progression just so we have some kind of, this goes back to conversation we had before about anchoring it and keeping it fairly simple. So we're going in the progression of the text. And so we know that this here is all coming from EQ4 1.
Right.
But how it's, I'm sorry?
Movement phrase and text.
Movement for and text. But and how that's assembled, we haven't got that far yet. We just need to get the source material going, and then we'll figure that out.
So show how we have, go to the how we broke up the EQ4 into the 7 sections.
The Word document?
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
She's got it.
Oh.
Oh, lost. Oh, there it is. Oh.
That's you. No worries.
Oh, God.
So we went through and split them up into 7 sections.
We were trying to keep it fairly pure to the words that were inside each of those sections, but it wasn't quite so easy. So there's some overlaps, but that's okay.
That's all right.
And part of that is when we were making these, writing these, we got so excited writing them that some of the bookkeeping got a little sloppy. And so, you know, I wasn't exactly accurate on some of the words, but oh well.
Yep.
And then also here you have the original words that we were working with.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll have a really good look of it after we've spoken and speak to my students on Wednesday, and I'll have a far better picture then. What's going on?
Okay.
So EQ4 sound split into 7 sections, sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because we'll have to put that together.
So I'm going to share this with Joff, because Joff will understand. So for my EQ41, my time signature is going to be 1. So 1 beat per measure. And then EQ42, it'll be 2 beats per measure all the way through 7. So I'm going to, that's one of the structures that I'm going to start with. Is a
And so
rhythmic
why do you
structure.
think that we wouldn't understand that? I mean, it's
Oh my
1,
God,
2,
so
3,
that's
4.
something I was like, oh,
Yeah.
God, I have no idea.
What's funny is I didn't understand it. I was like, what's
So my question is to you, Paul, are you using quarter notes? Are you using 16th, 8 notes? I mean, what are you using?
Yeah, seriously, that's a great thing. I mean, is it 4-1? Is it 1-1? What's your there? Or are you talking talk-tus? Is it a 1 pulse or a 2 pulse?
See, now he's nailing me on this.
Well, I mean, it could be, are you talking 1-4, 2-4, 3-4, 4-4, 5-4, you know, and so on?
You can
Well, I'm
change
not-
that all in GarageBand at the very top. It'll do it automatically for
Yeah,
you.
look, see? I'm just going to talk to Joff because he'll understand me on this. Oh.
It's a
Well,
thing. It's not really so much. It's that it's. He thinks I'll understand because we have the same haircut.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we're all going to have to shave the head and then
No, it's
be of one
great.
mind.
I have a really far receding forehead, so it actually can look like it. If I get like,
there you go.
see?
Well, I'm trying to go the other way. I'm gonna be like, no, I have hair.
There you go.
What?
Don't you like my bangs? Here.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thanks, dude.
So I'm wondering, is there a way, so I've been composing, I've been going back and forth between Audacity and GarageBand. And I don't
Right.
know if I have time to figure this out, but is there a way, because when I'm in GarageBand and I'm making a score sometimes, I can figure out how to get the score to come up so I can actually see how it's being notated.
Oh yeah,
Is
the,
there-
like the piano roll.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is there a way to actually finish out the score and then have it be fed into the computer or whatever, and then the computer decides what the melody is or the notation would be based on that?
The melody of the well, I'm not quite sure I follow.
Okay.
There is a way to notate the piece, feed it into an audio workstation, and then have
Okay.
it make sound. But I don't think there's a way.
So if I go la da 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 da, you recorded it, and then you would take that data and put it into software, and then out would
Oh,
pop.
you want something that transcribes for you.
Yes.
GarageBand
So we have-
does that. You can do that, can't you, in GarageBand?
Sort of, kind of.
But
Yeah.
but I would want the capture of like the line of my voice in notation. So if you could capture the notes of and the different keys.
Yeah,
maybe-
I mean, it notes it for you. Like you could print sheet music. Is that what you're saying? You want to see what you sang in the sheet music style, or do you want to see it like actually connect?
Well, I wanted to transcribe the sound of my voice into notation.
So like regular notes wouldn't work. You're looking for something different.
No. Regular notes would be fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought.
Can it do that? Like if it were
I don't know if it can do it with voice. I think it can do it with MIDI
Yeah, it does it with
Right.
MIDI.
keyboards.
It doesn't do it with. It doesn't do it with just singing in. The piano roll is there for if you're using MIDI and you're
right.
playing along. It'll transcribe it because it can take that signal because it's been input by a device.
Right.
But hold on, because there's a couple apps and I think they're free, and I'm researching them, and I'll see if
Okay.
I'll put them in the
That's
group.
awesome.
Because I would love to do that, and then we could like have our whole libretto up with the sound of our voices. It would just be more. It would be.
I was also thinking about like what projections, if projections are something you're so wanting to do. I was thinking it would be really cool to have something like what we see in GarageBand when it plays and you can see
The waveforms.
the waveforms. Would be kind of cool to see that. And I know that's motion and it's movement. And I was even thinking it could be cool to just have that live and record the sounds of the performance.
So
And you
Bridget,
can see it tracking. For the
Josephine was talking about the possibilities of the pocket projectors and the Raspberry Pis, and talked about Bill Shannon's work, and volunteered to have you go along with her to go talk to people.
Yeah.
It's far, yeah.
Yes.
She's already got a hookup with Logan, who he would be brilliant on this project.
Yeah. Logan is brilliant.
Yeah. So that's another thing we might think about if he's around.
If you want to play with us?
Well, yeah, maybe if he's around during the break.
Cool. Like Christmas break?
Well, when we're going to get together for the project.
Yes. Okay, cool. And what are we wanting to find? For FAR, we want to get together with people who'd be interested in. Are we looking for collaborators, or are we looking for information in a way that we can learn how to do this by ourselves?
Yes.
All of the above. Yeah.
Yes.
I guess the question is, like, would we want to invite someone are we looking to invite somebody external into play?
Well, so in my discussion with Rachel Hunter, she is our facilities production wizard, and she wants to know everything that we're going to need over winter break. Because as I said, the black box is high tech, and we could do really whatever we want to do. So
we don't know what we want to do because we don't
exactly
have possibilities.
And so that's why if we had could go talk to the people at FAR and say, these are all the things that we're working with. And then also because they're computer digital nerds, then we can always set up a meeting with Joff, who speaks the language.
Are you trying to say nerd?
Nerd.
Yes, absolutely.
Nerd.
That's exactly why when I was speaking in numbers, I said Joff would understand, because he's a nerd.
I'm a nerd too.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Paul.
Just to interject on the going backwards a couple of steps, I couldn't find anything that was cheap/free to do analog transcription, which is what you're talking about.
Right.
So
Okay.
I shot a message out to someone who can tell me for sure. Neil Anderson Himmelsbach, he's a composer in residence at a university in Texas, I think Texas Christian U or something like that. I can't remember what. But he's awesome, and he's in the know on all things nerdy.
Really, that would be really cool to be able to see live as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
And as we're doing it, that would be really great. And then there's another woman who's in studio art here, and her area is text and visual arts, and she's really sharp. And I talked to her about possibly working as a dramaturg to work with us and get an outside eye, and then bring her into the project. So these are, yeah. So these are people that are around, but they have incredible ideas, and they're very savvy, and just really great people. So.
Yep. And I think it'd be great, Joe, to have that outside eye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah.
What did you say? She does text and video?
Yeah, Julietta Chung. She's an assistant. Maybe she's an associate now. I don't know. And then Rob Duarte is the new director of FAR, and so I met him the other night. So
Oh, Duarte.
Duarte.
So Joe,
Yeah.
tell me about you. You're not going to be dancing because you're going to be documenting. Is that right?
I don't know yet. I'm still wrestling with my body, and I haven't reconciled it. So
Our structure has you performing.
I know, and so I just have to figure it out. I have these, So there, I mean, there's some physical things that are going on with me that I haven't figured out yet how to deal
Right.
with, and
Right.
so I hesitate a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's mostly my inner ear, my vertigo. It's my vertigo.
Yes. Right.
So it's a problem.
Right.
I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
But
in
there's a
that
lot of
structure-
things. I love to do spoken. I mean, there's tons of stuff I love. Yeah.
you do,
But I
yeah,
don't like
yeah.
to perform. It's maybe not so much the movement like I used to like to do.
Yes. Okay.
So Joe, we just need to choreograph within the performance. You come up to me like this, and I crack your neck.
That could be a soundbite.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay, are we? Is there anything we need to cover that we haven't?
Can you just give me the dates one more time? I like to have it written in as many places as possible for.
We don't have the exact performance date. The Fringe Festival is the 19th through the 21st.
And I can get professional leave on this, right?
Yeah. Just know that it's the week before EOD goes up.
Oh, I'm not in any of the pieces, so that works out well.
Hold on a second. I want to see something if we're about to head out. I want to check to see what's going on in terms of what my school is supposed to be doing at that time. You said October what?
19th through 21st.
19th through 21st. I'm going to be swamped at school. But if it's on the 21st, I'll be able to virtually be there, but I won't be able to make any kind of track anywhere.
Okay.
So just know that we need the sound sooner rather than later so that we can start playing with it as we rehearse.
Paul, I'm just going to take yours and reverse it all.
Yes.
I'll just
Why didn't I think of that?
drop it down an octave and reverse it, and say no, it's completely original.
There you go.
So then we're talking, oh, wow. That's coming up pretty quickly, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So when do we want to? Oh, you have the rehearsal. Are we on the rehearsal schedule?
Yes.
We are on the rehearsal schedule. So I'm looking at this. Julie Stoverink is going to be joining us October 7th. So what that means is we really should have that score by next, we should have EQ4 score by next Saturday. That'll give a week to lay down some tracks.
Okay. Right. Okay.
One last thing, I got a message back from my chair, and he says has nothing like Pivot so far as he's ever seen.
Okay.
Right.
That's unfortunate.
It's okay.
So what I'll do is I'll just
that are local that I can ask about.
I'll extend my parameters a little bit and to include Canada, because I've got Eastern Europe in there. I have to look at Australia. I have to put Australia in there. And Canada. I just get so much when I have so many, but I'll do that.
Australia and Canada are like right next door, so.
That's right.
Except as a Canadian citizen.
He's not a Canadian citizen.
No, that's what I'm saying. Some of these will be for Canadian citizens, other will be for Canadian residents. So I'll look at it. It's for travel.
Yeah, I don't have Canadian residency, but I do have Canadian status.
Okay. Okay.
You're a resident, you're not a permanent.
Oh, yeah, Lisa's absolutely right. My status is that I'm a resident, but not a permanent resident.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay. So we need the score, everybody, by,
Saturday.
I mean, really, Friday the 29th would be ideal. That would give us, but the 30th, I would say. So that's a week
Okay.
to do that one.
And then memorizing text.
And text, we need to get on that right away. But the score, just to get everybody to do that so we can put it together
Yes, yes.
and have a couple different.
So for me, for instance, the length of it or the sound bites that doesn't really matter because you can extend or abbreviate or whatever.
Yeah. So like mine are ranging from about 20 seconds to a minute 30.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where mine are too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, there's just tons of stuff you can do.
Okay, so I have more moderately bad news. Not really bad news, just more of an inconvenience. Neil got back to me, and my question to Neil was, hey, is there a decent, cheap, if not free program to transcribe analog, like voice input to sheet music? And his response was, no, I wish.
Oh,
So I asked him if there was any that was actually like decent that costs money, and I haven't heard back from him yet. But maybe that's something that could be expensed if you guys really wanted to have something like that.
I think it'd be brilliant.
So the biggest problem that I've seen with at least like I haven't looked at these for these two generations of technology, but when we were first looking at them, like ones that transcribe for you, they make some really weird choices.
Which is great.
Yeah, it depends. It depends. Like
Right.
in terms of really weird choices, the weird choices it was making, in my opinion, was that it was not very readable.
Because I'm thinking if you could do it for texting or whatever, using the microphone to transcribe into typing, there's got to be some kind of a system that would do it in notation as well.
Yeah, but there's a difference between phoneme and phoneme pitch and duration.
Right. Okay.
So it gets a little bit more complicated, mostly because they're trying to put it into a sheet music framework.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, there might be a really good one. It just might cost like $800.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll find out, and then I'll like send an email or post it to the group or something like that on Facebook.
Okay. Awesome. Wow, they respond to you so quickly. John.
Yeah, that was super fast response.
Which, with those people?
Yeah.
They're my fans. They're also nerds.
They're your tribe.
Right.
Aw.
So I'm thinking let's do a tentative next meeting in 2 weeks, but I'll let you know.
Yep.
If we're doing the, if we're doing like trying to get the let's see, it's the 16th. So if we're trying to get the music by next Saturday, that's right.
Yeah.
Then we might want to think about maybe not having a meeting, but maybe some sort of brief check-in before that happens, so that we can try and scramble people together if we need to.
So you're
Yes.
saying that Saturday?
Like, yeah, maybe. Like, I'm not saying definite, but like if like the posts on Facebook aren't like spurring people to finish their stuff, or if people need help with getting stuff recorded or just something like that, just some kind of check-in.
Yeah.
Maybe the Facebook check-ins will be enough, but if there really is like a nitty-gritty down to the wire type thing, I mean, I know that because I'm like chock full of assignments and projects right now. Like, I've been going to bed routinely after midnight and getting up at 6 or before. So it's been super busy the last couple of weeks for me, and will continue to be so. Having notifications like call bugging me is really useful. If we have some sort of deadline check-in to be like, hey guys, we're all gonna meet, and at least if it's on Facebook, and just by a certain time say, hey, yeah, I got it done, it's done, guys, or like just say I need more time, just something to remind those of us who are not thinking about time so much as all the stuff that we have to work on.
So should we maybe make it on Thursday we all kind of check in and say, yes, I'm nearly done, or I'm not really done, or
I'm down with that. Yeah, just like have some sort of check-in, even if it's just on Facebook, to let people know where we're at by Thursday. I think is awesome. It's a great idea.
Nearly there, not there at all.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Okay, so we'll just check in on Thursday then,
and whoever doesn't get it done by Thursday, they get to be the ones to take Paul's stuff and turn it backwards.
Okay, cool. That'll spur me on.
Okay. Okay.
I'm in Darren's intranet and I'm trying to find when our rehearsals were scheduled. And
trying to find where it is.
Clusterflock. Haha. I found it.
On Saturdays, 12:30 to 3:30.
And that's it. We don't have any during the day?
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool, thank you.
Because I only asked for 3 hours a week, and then it was getting too tight with all the other rehearsals because we're not prioritized.
Right.
This is our own private gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not school related.
Whatever. Saturday. Okay. 12:30 to 3 every Saturday. Cool.
Yep.
3:30.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
Okay.
All right, we'll check in on Thursday.
see you later.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. So our next meeting then will be Saturday the 30th?
Yes.
Saturday the 30th? Is that next? I don't even have
I have a meeting at 8 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay.
8 o'clock. So what time would?
It
But
would be your
Michelle,
Sunday.
your Sunday.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh.
That's cool.
All right.
So your Sunday, the October 1st.
31st. No, that's cool. I can do that.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right then. Are we good?
We're good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
We'll meet.
Great.
We'll meet in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And we'll have everything
We'll check in
done by
this
this.
Thursday. Check in this Thursday.
Yes, and check in on Thursday.
And then
Okay,
we can show you a video of some of the stuff we've been doing.
That'd be
Oh,
awesome.
that'd be great.
Sure.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because Julie will be here too. She'll be with us.
Are they gonna see with you?
Will she be? No, not on the 3rd. Wait, will she be here on the 30th? No. She won't be here till the 7th. Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay then.
So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen.
Gotcha.
Adieu. Adieu.
Take care now.
Okay.
Lovely.
You.
Okay. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.